All right, and we are live. Welcome to Pistons Jack Fan Reacts, where we're going to break down the Pistons' fifth straight win, their first time in 5 years. I've got my man Cody here, ready to go, and join me in just a moment. I already have 4 people who are lined up to go on today's show, so we're going to try to keep it to 15 minutes per person. So if you want to come up, there will be a little bit of a wait, but we'll go for as long as you guys want the show to go for. So, I'm going to bring up my man Cody in just a second, and we're going to talk Pistons hoops. Cody,
What's up, my man?
how you feeling?
Just a chill guy watching a chill game.
Talk us through it. I just want to hear your thoughts because I don't have as much time for everyone today. So, I'm all ears. Talk us through the game.
You know what's funny? That was what we Nets fans just dealt with what we've dealt with for the last 3 years. Putting out a terrible, terrible, terrible team with guys injured or sick. I use air quotes very liberally there because we had guys sitting who weren't injured and weren't sick, but we were tanking and they got mollywopped. They got it was belts to the saying, belts to
Yeah.
that's all it was.
AWS.
And that it's cool being on the other side of that. Like,
It
wow,
is.
we're not watching this team just throwing the towel at the we're not even 40 games into the season yet. The Nets are throwing in the towel completely, as they should, as they should. But it feels so good to be on the other side.
It really
We're the
does.
ones, putting it on them.
I had that thought as well. I was like, because I was looking at the Nets players and I think they started a two-way guy. I can't remember his name, but I was just like, this reminds me of so many Pistons teams we've seen, more so in March, April, but still just seeing our guys smile and joke around towards the end, like you said, so nice just to be on the other end of those types of games because we've sat through the countless.
Yeah, I mean, so many of those games. It's been brutal, but man, that's 5 in a row. The other nice thing about today's game was the guys are going to play key minutes against the Warriors. It's tomorrow, right?
Yep, tomorrow 7 p.m.
Yep. So the guys are going to play key minutes against the Warriors tonight. Didn't have to expend much energy at all. Like this game honestly felt like a pickup game at the local, YMCA or Anytime Fitness, LA Fitness. Those type. It didn't feel like anybody was really trying very hard on both sides.
No, and the first half, I was getting a little bit frustrated when the Nets kept hanging around, but I kind of just felt like once it gets to the second half, I don't know, it's something like the Nets, that team they put out tonight was no disrespect, but horrific. They were bricking shot after shot. I think, like you said, the Pistons, it seems like they're fully trying in the first half, but then the second half, they just run away with it.
I don't even think they were. I mean, some of the bench players were really trying hard, but I really don't think anybody who's going to play key minutes tomorrow was really going that hard. I mean,
Yeah.
Stu a little bit, but I mean, a lot of your energy came from Sasser, Tech, Ron, those kind of guys. I mean, I see some people in the comments saying they didn't like how Cade was on cruise control. I don't know who Mr. Mighty is. He's obviously a huge troll. That comment's ridiculous.
Yeah, Mr. Mighty, Cade's just had a 40 and 32 point game in the past 2 games. So
yeah, that's a really strange comment. Probably a troll.
Appreciate the comment, but I think, man, you might have missed 2 of his best games of the season. I don't know where you've been, bro.
Or he's trolling. He's trolling, probably. I mean,
yeah. But talk to me about Fontecchio's game, I reckon, because I feel like that he was solid last game, but tonight he had a couple of dunks. He just looks like a little bit more bouncy. I don't know what the personal leave was for him, but I don't know. Something seems a little bit different about him.
maybe something in his personal life was bothering him, and he just needed to get away for a few days and just reset himself. I mean, I really I really like the way he played tonight, obviously, and like I think Koo had a comment or something where he's like, maybe this can be the game where Tech and Sasser get going pretty much right after the Ivy injury, and that's that's key. That's extremely key for them because if you can get that Tech 2 out of every 5 games, like just and maybe it's not as much scoring because let's be honest, the Pistons aren't going to be winning that many games where they're up by 25 in the third quarter, fourth quarter. It's just not going to happen. They're not that good, but if you can get that level of Tech play in less minutes, two or three out of every 5 games. I mean, three's probably asking too much, but 2 out of every 5 games, and then you just get Sasser hitting open shots, which he can. I mean that changes the calculus a little bit more on this team as well. I'm not going to take too much away from this game with either player because the Nets were legit sending out Nick Claxton and a G League team.
Yeah.
So I can't glean much from this game, but obviously, as like just putting myself in a player's mindset, I've made it very clear I was never very good at basketball. I played my whole life, but I was never very good. Like sometimes it just takes seeing the ball go through, gaining confidence, and it doesn't matter who it's against, really. Like you got to beat the teams in front of you. So I think it's huge. I think it could be. I should say I think it could be huge for both of them.
I think so too. Definitely like their confidence. I mean, Tech was good last game, but like you said, they're probably not going to play 22 and 23 minutes again for a while because the Pistons typically play close games, but to see them just capitalize on the opportunity and like you said, they'll seeing the ball go through like Fontecchio 17 points, 3 of 5 from deep, Sasa 15, 5 of 7 from deep, like that'll boost their confidence for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the Sasser looked like the Sasser of last year we saw at some points where he would come in and fill it up. Reminded me a little bit of that Milwaukee game he had that one night where he scored like 24 and he really couldn't miss. I mean, I hope it's a good confidence booster for all of them because without Jaden, we're going to need scoring pop from other guys. And
Yeah.
Malik Beasley's not going to score 30 every night. We know that he's streaky. Tim's not. I don't think Tim's going to have too many of those nights where he scores 26. I mean, Tobias, we kind of know what he is. He's good for 10 to 15 in that range. Um, you got to find other people to make up that scoring pop that you lost, and I think it can be done with the collection they have right now. I mean, obviously not every night because there's gonna be nights where you know they're not playing the Brooklyn G League Nets. You know, and
Long
I guess we'll see
Island
what it looks like
Nets.
tomorrow because I imagine the Warriors are gonna be coming in pretty mad because they're playing pretty awful basketball right now.
Oh, I was going to say, you normally keep an eye on every team around the league. So, yeah, how are the Warriors been going?
They've been looking really bad, really bad the last couple weeks. I mean, I know I watched part of it because it was a late game last night. They got absolutely just beat down by the Heat in the final quarter and a half last night. They got it to like I think the Heat were up 88-85, and then from that point on the Heat just took over. It
Yeah.
was like Steph hit a big three and they got some momentum, and then Buddy Hield took an absolutely horrible off the dribble three and airballed it, and then it snowballed from there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean they don't look good. They don't look good. Um, they're obviously gonna be hunting for pieces at the deadline because they need more, but yeah, they do not look good. And honestly, as much as it pains me to say it, Steph doesn't really look. I mean, he obviously still looks like Steph, but it's not that dominant
Yeah.
Steph night in and night out anymore. At least not this season. I think it's partially because of the roster surrounding him, but it's not the Steph that you think of going for 32 a night
Well,
every
yeah, I
night.
think I saw he was only averaging like 23 or 24 points, which sounds really low for him. That I
Well,
don't
he's had a
know.
couple real stinkers. Like he had one game where he only had against Memphis where he only had three. I mean, he's had a couple really bad games this year where he couldn't
Yeah.
get anything going.
Yeah, no, I just remember thinking like because they had the hot start, but then I haven't paid any attention to them. But that I mean, you're right though. Like they will like I feel like even though the Pistons like they're 19 and 18, I think they'll move to at least back up to seventh or eighth in the East tonight. They're playing really, really good basketball. I still think the Warriors will come in with confidence that they can beat the Pistons. Like I still feel like it's going to take a while for teams to just mentally adjust. So like I think it's going to be a tough game. But do you feel like the Pistons that's a game they should win?
I'll never go as far as to say should win because it's Steph Curry and you're talking about a top 12, probably 12 to 15 player of all time.
Yeah.
So I'm not ever going to say they should beat a team that has a guy like that who can go absolutely exactly to James's point, who can
Exactly,
go
James.
absolutely nuclear. That's I don't want to say that. But like I'm not sure. I'd have to double check. Jack, can you look in front of you? What's the Warriors' record right now?
I've got it here. So the Warriors right now are 10th, 18 and 18.
Yeah, so we have a
Uh,
better record than the Warriors right now,
that's crazy.
which is crazy to say. But yeah, like they're not. What's the record in the last 10?
It says here they are 4-6, lost two in a row.
Yeah, 4-6, lost two in a row, two bad ones. So you can easily see what team's playing better. Better out of the two.
Yeah.
So it's not like the Pistons. It's not like they can't or won't win. I'm just not going that far when you've got Wardell on the other side of the court.
No, yeah, I'm with you. I still think it'll be like I I just have a bit of a confidence now that the Pistons going to win as long as they're not playing like true contenders or like sort of your top six in either conference. But I still think there'll be moments where the Pistons could be down by 10 or that kind of thing, just because you never know with Steph. And I feel like has Steph ever had a massive game in Detroit? I feel like
I don't know if that one game where we did win, where we ended up upsetting them, it wasn't the one where they were going to, like, towards the end of the season when they went 73-9 and we beat them, but it was one of those, I feel like one of those games we did have a big game.
he probably has.
Not
Yeah.
like a massive, massive game, but like a big enough game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't like how the Warriors are playing at all right now. They're kind of, in my mind, free falling. You know, I don't know. I think if you ask me who I like, if like who I'd take right now, if I had to drop $100 on it, straight up, I'd take the Pistons.
Yeah.
But not with any super like 55-45, something like that in terms of
Yeah.
percentages of like who I'd take. So yeah, I mean, I think, and then obviously I think we get the Raptors on Saturday,
Yep. At home.
and I mean they just lost by what seemed like 50 yesterday to the Bucks. Like
Yeah.
they're not trying at all to win. So like if you get past the Warriors, like I said beginning of the week, dude, 21 and 18 going into next week.
Wow. Can I feel like you'll have a good response to this. I know you touched on it before. And this isn't an attack at Beast of the Arrow, but I understand the Nets are really bad, but I didn't really like how Cade was on cruise control the whole game. I saw a little bit of this on Twitter and then a couple of comments in here just about Cade, but what do you respond to that?
He had a knee injury that kept him out of a couple games. He's been playing extremely heavy minutes the entire season. And the Pistons have also had a ridiculous amount of back-to-backs, a ridiculous amount of short, like a lot of games in short windows. Any chance that you can get to play Cade 25 minutes? I don't even know if he played 25 minutes tonight.
23.
Yeah.
That's crazy good.
So 23 minutes, and he didn't have to go 100%. Like the only argument to the other side is, hey, they can say, hey, I'd like him to keep the momentum up going into the Warriors game. I think Cade's past that point of like, oh, if he doesn't go all out in one game, he can't have a good game the next game. I mean, if you watch the NBA closely, and I watch a lot of NBA, a lot of NBA product, there are a lot of games where stars put it in like really put it in check when either things aren't going well or things are going really well. The Pistons knew they were never going to lose this game today. They knew that from the jump. They knew they had realistically no shot of losing that game. So why should Cade have to go out there and bust his hump for 38 to 40 minutes against a ridiculously poor roster, a team that's not trying to win? Like, why would you have him go out there and bust his hump when you have a team that needs a win tomorrow coming to town? The Warriors are free falling out of the Western Conference standings. Like, they need a win. The Nets want anything but a win. They want to lose every game if they can. If they can lose every game, they would. So I don't think anything about Cade. Like, it's
Yeah,
it's not even close to a worry. And that three Mr. Wright does make a great point. That is part of the reason why NBA ratings are down, because teams are throwing out that product like the Pistons have done in prior seasons. Like that's a big reason why ratings are down.
Yeah.
Because you get products like that where it's pretty sad when the Pistons, who I think are probably I'd say probably a top 16 team in the league, I'll go that far, are just like anybody who turned on the TV would be like, oh yeah, this isn't even worth watching. There's no competition here. Saying that about the Pistons playing anyone that there's no competition here is wild. In the big year of 2025.
Yeah. Well, 5-0 in 2025.
Yeah, no, exactly. But I'm just saying, like I couldn't even imagine last year saying we'd have games where it'd be like, oh yeah, the Pistons are going to win this game by 12.
Oh yeah,
Guaranteed.
yeah. No, the fact sitting through that game tonight, like, I'm almost like Sasser and Tech were fun, but I'm almost like I don't even have a whole lot of talking points because everyone just kind of did their job, and there wasn't really ever a scare that they were going to lose it. It was just kind of a weird feeling though as well. Very nice feeling, but I just haven't
it's kind of
experienced
funny
it
because
like
I could point out probably 10 to 15 plays from the Blazers game that was 3 nights ago.
Yeah.
I could barely tell you 4 key plays in this entire game.
Because
I was watching it so casually. Like I was doing other stuff. I was like, oh, there's like I have some dishes to do and I have, a few other things to do. I'm gonna do this while I watch. I was just like, I knew from the jump. As soon as I saw the roster earlier today, I'm like, there's no way they're losing this game. It doesn't matter.
I saw your tweet.
Yeah, I mean, well, I tweeted that before all the announcements of everybody were.
Oh, really?
I tweeted that well before, like all the announcements. I already knew Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas were out, which I thought would be enough. But that was before they just went and said, "Hey, everybody's out tonight."
That injury report was crazy.
Yeah.
Cody, I'm gonna bring up Carl in a minute, but just final thoughts, man. We've got the Warriors tomorrow, but just whatever's on your mind.
21-18. That's it. 21-18. Finish this week 21-18. Because guess what? There's going to be a point in the schedule. I forget when it is, but it's going to ramp up again.
Yeah.
I know they have to play Indiana twice this month, and Indiana is red hot.
Yeah, every time I check the standings, the Pistons, I keep thinking they're going to catch up, but the Pacers just keep winning as well.
I mean, the Pacers had the Bulls beat in the second quarter tonight. Like like it was over, and the Bulls were not. The Bulls weren't doing what the Nets were doing.
Yeah, what are the Pacers 7-3 in their last 10? So there you go, 20-18 overall.
Yeah, exactly, and they absolutely destroyed. I didn't obviously get a chance to watch, but they destroyed the Bulls tonight. So, like, there's going to be games on the schedule where I think you'll get a better measuring stick. I think tomorrow's a good one because I think right now, as weird and crazy as it is to say, the Pistons and Warriors are in the same tier.
Yeah, it sounds
in terms
crazy.
Of actual, how are you playing right now, basketball teams? Like, if anything, the Pistons are better. Because I'll leave you with one thing. I don't know if you got a chance to watch, Jack. I know you're a very busy guy, but Sam Vecini and Bryce.
No, but I've got that on my list. Was that like 25 minutes? Yeah.
Okay, I won't spoil too much, and I don't want to take any more Kyle's time. But
yeah,
what do you think the Pistons' net rating was over the last 6 games before tonight? Overall net rating.
I I feel like I have no idea. I'm just gonna say like +5. I don't know.
Oh, sorry, league ranking.
Oh, where they rank for their net rating.
Yeah,
Oh,
in those 6 games, obviously small sample size.
man, I'm gonna say like 7th or something.
I believe it was 10th.
Wow.
But 10th, that's
Yeah.
I don't care 6 games, that's 10th.
Yeah,
And
no, that's crazy.
their offensive rating was all the way up at 6.
Really? That's a
6.
shock. I guess they have been, yeah. It shouldn't be a shock though, but just the Pistons and a top 6 offense, no matter what the sample size is. That's the
And
something where
I
you
thought it was crazy because they've held some teams under 100. Their defensive rating is what held them back. They were like 14th.
really. I mean, that's still good though.
Yeah,
Like it's
but I
still
mean,
solid.
it
But I know
just
what you're
seemed
saying.
like seemed weird to me. Seemed almost backwards. But
Yeah.
hey, I'm not complaining. 21-18, Jack. I'll let you get to Kyle. It was great talking to you as always.
Let's go, man.
And
Great
I'm gonna stay
chat.
and
Good
watch.
stuff, Cody. Beautiful. Love it, man. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good.
Catch ya. Kyle, what's going on? Are we in a new location?
What up, Jack? Just my living room. I didn't feel like setting up the other room.
Fair enough. How
I was thinking of Patron Cody's, but
I love it.
the win was fun. Real talk though, I've been without running water in my house for 2 days. I live in Richmond, Virginia, and we're at the major snowstorm hit, and the whole city's like crazy right now. So this was a nice little escape from, using tub water to fill up a toilet.
No running water at all.
No running water.
Wait, so how have you been filling up the toilet? Did you say with the tap or a lot of water?
No, I had to. Yeah, so basically, we were able to fill up our bathtub with water before the water got shut off, and so we've been literally just taking a lot of water to fill up the toilet so we could flush. It's crazy.
Wow, that is crazy. That is insane.
Hopefully tomorrow we'll get it back.
Yeah. Wow. Well, you're doing it tough. That's no running water is insane. I've got more questions that maybe I'm not going to ask.
You can DM me later. You know what? There's all the things going on in the world. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely it reminds you of the fragility of the things we take for granted. And so here we are.
Certainly.
But enjoying a Pistons win, staying comfy on the couch. That's where I'm at. So
well, talk to me through some of your favorite parts of the game tonight. Or just doesn't have to be from the game, maybe just the past week, because I'm not sure when the last time we spoke.
Yeah, no, the game was I similar to Cody. I was just watching it pretty casually. I think Cade had that sick fake DHO handoff with that crazy finish. That was obviously fun. I mean, Bobby got minutes. Let's just go there.
Yes. He didn't do much. I was we couldn't get the ball, but
he had 3 possessions where he played really good defense. I think the first one, the guy still made a shot over him. Maybe 2 of the 3. The bucket still went in, but he moved his feet well, stayed in front of his guy. Part of that is because he was standing in the corner and they were doing all the action to the opposite side, so he just didn't get a chance to really impact on that side. But the Pistons were up enough points in the fourth quarter for him to get 4 minutes to run or something.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It felt tonight had to be the night. Like when you saw that Nets injury report, I know it got close there a little bit at the first half and maybe started the third, but when it was I felt like everyone was on but Bobby there at around the 5-6 minute mark, and I'm like, surely we're gonna see him.
Yeah, no, it was when Wendell Moore came in first, and I saw some stuff on Twitter about it, which, to be honest, it made sense. Like, Wendell Moore plays real minutes. He started 3 games ago, right? So, getting him running, getting him stay engaged, they trust him with real minutes. But I'm glad they got Bobby in with more than just 2 minutes left so he could get a few possessions, kind of, get some run. Now, granted, it was against other G League players that he's basically been beating up on. So, I don't know how productive or helpful it was, but he got some run with some other guys that he might see some time with. And yeah, it was just good to see him on the floor. Hopefully we see him in the flow of an actual offense at some point here in the near future.
Yeah, he didn't take a shot, did he? I don't think so.
I don't think he did.
There was a moment he got kind of fouled, and I was hoping he was going to get 2 free throws, but he didn't get it.
Yeah, they weren't in the bonus.
Can I ask you about Ron Holland? 8 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but more so just like not so much the numbers, just like I feel like he's been on an upward trajectory for a while. And I'm not saying tonight was the best game he's played, but do you feel like I feel like when we would talk earlier in the season, it was like you just feel like you're gonna have 3 moments a game with Ron where you're like, oh, like what was that? He's gonna take a step back mid range. I feel like he's gonna take a pull up 3, and you're like, oh, but I don't know. He probably has one of those moments a game at worst. If
that, honestly, like I would say this game was not his best, for sure. Like first half, especially, he got lost on defense a couple times. Like it just kind of looked like he was not quite, he had an off night from that standpoint. Even like you could tell like the rebounds and stuff where he normally gets his hands on stuff. Like I felt like the whole team was kind of chaotic that first half where it's like the ball just kept bouncing funny and they were like fighting each other for rebounds and it just wasn't working. Obviously it didn't matter that much, but it was kind of that funky, like how did 4 of you touch the ball and steal the Nets ball? Right.
Well, that was the only difference in the first half, is second chance points. I think the Nets had +10. So
yeah,
you're right to call that out.
But to talk about Ron in particular, I've noticed that he's playing much more within the flow of the offense, and looks much more like he'll take a 3 here and there, but very rarely is it not open and usually wide open or like again in the flow of the offense. He's hit more of them too recently, so like I think he's really finding his place while still bringing that chaotic energy on the defensive end, and I think that's amazing, right? And he's still finding his moments to be aggressive to the rim. I think he's finishing better than he was before. I don't have the stats to back that up, but just from the eye test, it looks like he's figuring out how to finish and not just like getting things up and being slightly short. Like I feel like early in the season, he was like always kind of hitting the rim or just like couldn't quite get through the contact. Even in summer league, it was kind of like this. You need to go stronger. Like it felt like he was always finesse. And it seems like there's a little more power there as he's getting familiar with the speed and the length of the league. So I don't know. He looks better. I think he's earning the minutes he's getting, and it'll be interesting to see when him and Ron are both fully healthy, if that ever happens, or him and Asar are fully healthy. Like, will he continue to push for those minutes, or what will that look like?
Yeah, I think they're still both going to get minutes, especially with Ivy now, I think, out for the season. That hasn't been officially announced, but I think Amari interviewed a doctor and it's like 4 to 6 months probably. Yeah. So I think Ron's probably going to be in the rotation even when Asar's back, and hopefully Asar's this illness isn't what we're all deep down are worried about. But I still think both are going to play because JB's been playing them together in spurts. So,
right. I mean, they can play those two together with Cade and Tobias on the floor, like, and Stu. Like that would be that's like you see that lineup. You could put it in Tobias or Tech. Like it doesn't matter. Yeah. Like anyone else that can space the floor there, Beasley.
Yeah,
that's a fun lineup with size and ball handling and defensive chops. Like they're starting to figure out ways to put them together.
That lineup, I want to see that more. Like, I'm not saying like 20 minutes a game or anything. The one with Beasley, Cade, and then Stu and the 2 wings, like that lineup's fun. I think we've seen it a couple of times and it looked good. I'll turn it back to you. What are your other thoughts on the team or the game from tonight?
Yeah, from tonight, I think other than that, they did what they were supposed to do. Like, and I don't remember if Cody said this, but like these are the kind of games where last year you were kind of like, they should, but will they? You know, and it just feels good tonight to be able to like watch the game. They took care of business, even when the Nets stayed with them in the first half. Like they pulled away and were able to get the rest they wanted. Because I know that was something that the announcers made a comment about this, but like the fact that they're playing a back-to-back, they've been playing a lot of games in this stretch. And so being able to get some of those guys rest, I think is big. And yeah, because I mean, the Warriors are always going to give it to you. They're not the old Warriors, and there's issues, right? But you gotta be, you can't just like cakewalk through them. And so it's good that I'm glad they were able to get some other guys run and do what they're supposed to do against teams like that. That shows that they're not playing down to their opponent, and that gives them a chance to continue to push for that play in, if not more.
Yeah. No, I think tonight, you didn't really. It was really just like you highlighted, like the second chance points in the first half is kind of what kept the Nets in it. And then they sorted that out, and it didn't feel like the Pistons really played down to their competition at all. I know this was the worst team they've probably played this season by far, but still, I think that's just another sign of growth. And yeah, the Warriors still have Curry, and Draymond's not injured or anything, I don't think. So he's still like an awesome defensive player. So won't be easy, but yeah, I mean, when you look at the minutes, Cade 23, Bias 25, Jalen Duren 21. Like, I mean, no one played. I mean, Beasley played 32, which is a little weird, but everyone else was around 25 or less. So definitely gonna be well rested.
Yeah, it's hard to complain about a game where the majority, where the majority of your team players could play 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's what I like with the Cade stuff about like the 13 points. I'm just like, Pistons, like I think the final score says they won by 15, but that was a 20-point win. Like,
Right.
I don't care if Cade scores 2 points and they win by 20. Like,
right. Well, and to be
two,
fair, like I understand the Pistons were so desperate for Cade to get his validation and get the All-Star, like the All-Star nod. So I'm sure some of that is just like, we want to see you putting up 40 points a night because don't give them any reason to sleep on you. That's our perspective as fans. And so I get that in some sense. But if he doesn't make the All-Star game because he put up 13 points or 13 5 and 5 or something, and 23 minutes of work against the Nets, if that's the game, right? If that's the thing, then he wasn't making it anyway. Like, let's be honest.
Well,
like that's
exactly. Like the games as well. Like you want to be. Like I kind of feel like it would be crazy if he didn't make it now. But like tomorrow's game, Warriors, Steph Curry, like have 20-point triple-double or score 30 in that game, because that's the game everyone's going to be watching. Like,
exactly.
Don't stress about the Long Island Nets like on the first night of a back-to-back where they win by 20 points, because that's the wins are the thing is key as well. So
and I think that's the other thing. Like the Pistons' success is going to reflect on Cade regardless of what he does in that game. Honestly, if the Pistons get a 20-point win, they get they go cakewalk somebody. Regardless of how Cade played, they're going to think Cade played well, like the fans, and the fans are the ones voting. It's so I'm not worried a bit about that, and I'm glad for a guy who has as much usage as Cade does, being able to get a night off and let Sasser turn into a little mini Ant Edwards. Great, do it.
Oh, especially with no Jaden Ivey as well. Like you want to get Cade as extra, like somehow find him more rest if you can, because his running mate's gone for a long time. So, where do you want to take it, Kyle? You normally have at least a trade thought for us. I haven't seen any official reports, but some people have been commenting like CJ McCollum, but the person that tweeted it out, I'm not going to say who it is, but I don't think they actually have sources. So,
no, I don't think there's anything that's actually rumoring CJ to Detroit at this point.
Yeah.
But I'll say Sasser. We got to give him his flowers. I don't know if Cody mentioned it or not, but we gotta shout him out. Like he just went nuclear tonight from 3. That's what he can do. Hopefully they're starting to learn and not make him be a point guard, which I think we're seeing him get a lot more for him. Just go be a bucket. Like, make an open pass if it's there, if you're not, but like, go be a bucket.
Yeah, he's shot like when he's hitting, like it just like I feel like tonight if he got more minutes, like he's easily getting the 25. Like there's something about like he feels like a real heat check guy. Like I don't know what his percentage are on the season, but good to see him hit 5 threes tonight because I feel like they'll need a few of those tomorrow.
Yeah. Hopefully that carries over, and but yeah, I think that's my thoughts from tonight. Yeah, I don't know if I have any new trade stuff. We've been out in front of a lot of this stuff for a couple of weeks. It's just a matter to see if it'll be interesting, like we said before, if they continue to win at this pace.
Yeah,
right.
Well, because am I right in saying they're on pace now for 42 wins?
I think that's the case. Yeah, something like that.
That's crazy.
I haven't done the official math, but they're one game over. So at the least they're, we want to get splitting hairs. They're probably on pace for at least 41 wins.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Like, what? Even if I had said to you 2 weeks ago, the Pistons are on pace for 41 wins in what is it, the first week of January, you'd be like, no. I feel like I would have been shocked.
Like, they have more wins than the Milwaukee Bucks, y'all.
Really?
Just saying.
That's crazy. Yeah, because you're right. So the Bucks are 18 and 16 in the 5th seed, and the Pistons are currently sitting 8th at 19 and 18, only half a game behind 5th, with the Warriors and Raptors to come both at home. Like,
so it begs the question, right? This is the stuff we've been talking about. Does it? Sorry. Does more success increase the chance of them making a move to like say like we have a chance, like we're definitely not gonna be able to keep this pick anyway. Let's see if we can actually win a series in the playoffs, or like really solidify this like run, or does it make them more confident that they don't have to?
Yeah,
they can definitely be more selective, right? It doesn't. I don't think it won't make them more desperate to. I don't think they have any reason to do that. But it's interesting to keep in mind. Like, I don't think Beal's a realistic option, so we can just stop that nonsense.
No,
like
that's
Beal's not going to waive no trade clause for that.
That'd be a disaster for I don't know why you would want Bradley Beal. I said yesterday, I'm like, I know it's not like I just think Jaden Ivey's a better asset at this point. Like I would much rather invest in Jaden Ivey even with this broken leg. You don't have to this summer, but I don't see it.
Well, I think you can make any of those moves and not really change what you do with Ivy. It's more about what you do with THJ. Like whoever you're bringing in is going to be a THJ replacement or a Durn replacement. That's what we're talking about. So yeah, we'll see. I think as time goes on, like, how do I want to say this? If the Pistons keep winning like this, I don't think they're going to make a move that has the potential to mortgage things when they don't have to.
Yeah, I think
especially if they do it with Ivy out. Like, why would unless there's other things that really shift, like if they hit a wall in the next the next week or two, they could decide, okay, hey, like Levine is dirt cheap. Let's go make it happen. But I think the other thing that we have to understand is like, especially Tobias, like what a locker room presence he is. Like he's probably any deal that's going to require him going out, they're not going to want to trade him, especially if they're not getting a 4 back. Right. So that's an automatic, like, unless it's someone like Devin Booker, which I know I'm going to get fried for this, but like, I think the Suns are stupid if they're not considering trading Devin Booker right now.
Yeah, I saw that. Well,
But
just quickly, because we'll wrap it up here, Carl. But what's the first, if Devin Booker actually became available, what's the trade for the Pistons that actually works? Have you had a chance to look at that?
I think I posted one,
Yeah.
or I posted some iteration of them. I don't fully remember off the top of my head, but it would be something like it would be Tobias and THJ. Is enough salary wise to make it happen. So
Really?
in theory, they could do Tobias, THJ, and a bunch of and all their picks. No one wants to buy a shirt, but he's cheap, and his deal ends after next year. So if Miami's trying to get off Jimmy Butler, it was like the Jimmy Butler scenario where it's like Jimmy goes to Suns, Tobias comes to Detroit, and then THJ and Tobias go to Miami, and the picks get sent out accordingly.
Got you.
That was one iteration of it. I mean, the Pistons can go get Booker on their own without having to do all that, but they're not going to trade him without getting Tobias or without getting Jimmy Butler back. So anyway, that's a whole different thing. But I think if it's not for someone like that, Tobias is staying. That was the point that I was making.
Yeah,
these guys are too for culture fit.
I agree with you on the culture fit for sure. And I think the more they win, the more likely they probably don't make a move. Like, I think they just go all in and try and make the playoffs. Honestly, why not? And you said, because once they give up that pick to Minnesota, then that's the only asset that then they're fully stocked again, aren't they? So
right.
That's also a great situation to be in heading into the summer after having an awesome season. Because that's a good thing. Like, I've got to wrap up here because I got to get to John, but that is the positive about losing this pick and this team winning is like now Devin Booker looks at his hometown team and is like, whoa, like Cade, All-Star, maybe All-NBA, like fringe. I don't know. Like now we're talking like there's actually respect there from potential stars. Like, so that's the positive of losing the pick.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it can get trickier in the offseason, but sometimes those mega deals also are easier in the offseason depending on how the things work. But I do think, I'll say this, and then I know we got to go. The Pistons have $14 million in cap room. They're going to use it for something. They're going to take on either a contract that doesn't affect their rotation and just get a second round pick or two. Great. They'll facilitate a trade maybe, or they'll get someone like a Javon Carter, like another, ball handler that can come in if they deem like, okay, we really do need some more secondary ball handling because Ron and Asar can't really handle it come playoff time. So go look at Lonzo Ball.
That's
like
a good name.
Let's move Wendell Moore Jr. and something so we can make enough room to bring in his salary. Like that's the kind of move that they could make because they have the roster spot and they have 14 million plus the room exception. They're going to do something. It's just a matter of whether they do that to supplement the actual rotation or just get assets. Will determine likely what the next 2 weeks looks like. Will determine what the route they go.
For sure. Well, I haven't looked at the schedule too much. I only know the next 2 games, but man, there's a real chance they could win 7 in a row. Don't want to get ahead of myself, but there's a certain confidence with this team that I have right now. I don't think I've ever experienced ever.
Hey, we called the Warriors win a week ago, so it's 7 in a row. We're riding or dying at this point. So get ahead of ourselves.
Well, Carl, I hope your water comes back on. I hope everything's all good with you and your family, man, because I'm laughing about it, but that is a very annoying, unfortunate situation. So I hope it sorts itself out for you. But thanks so much for jumping on, man, and we'll talk very soon.
Peace.
All right. Thanks, man. John, what's going on, man?
What's going on?
Time check. What are we talking?
4:52.
4:52.
Yeah.
Man, is this 3rd straight stream? Oh no, we had one you missed.
I didn't come on the emergency one for the TV.
That's right. Yeah. Well, 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
All wins. How are we feeling? How much of the game did you catch as well?
I watched like the last 3 quarters. I just didn't watch the first one since I was asleep for that. But then I woke up since my sleep room isn't the best. So I woke up in the middle of the night, watched the rest of the game.
I love
Yeah.
it. Talk to me. What were your highlights from what you saw? We've spoken a little bit about Marcus Sasser and Fontecchio, but I feel like we could probably talk a bit more about them as well.
Yeah. I mean, you know, my personal highlight is we got to see some Bobby Clipman minutes. All I wanted, you know, didn't do a lot, but didn't do really a lot in those minutes, but I'm happy we got some Bobby minutes. It's time. It's about time. It's been about time. But
Very much
yes,
so.
Sesser and Fontecchio, I feel like they really stepped up today. I don't think it was, it wasn't that important that they delivered. We played against the Nets with, they picked people off the street to play today.
Yeah.
So if we didn't win that, we needed to ask some questions, but it was a comfortable win. And Sasha played well. He hit his shots, which I felt like he wasn't really doing that consistent recently. But today, he really hit his shots. Fontecchio's confidence is looking so much better. Like, I feel like a lot of times he comes running in and instantly pops the three. Doesn't just instantly pops. And I'm always confident when he just instantly shoots, just a catch and shoot. And I feel like they played really well today.
They did. And Fontecchio, like, did you see the dunk he had? I think it was in the first or second quarter.
I
I'm not
don't think I
sure.
saw that.
Yeah, because the Pistons, they couldn't post any highlights for a bit because the program they used was down. So Fontecchio had this awesome dunk. I think they ended up posting it from a different angle in the stadium, but he had like this genuine poster, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
It was like one-handed poster. Then he had another dunk a couple of moments later on a fast break. Like, yeah, seeing him get like some of his like. He's obviously not the most athletic, but like get
Yeah,
up and dunk like that. And he's even been like offensive rebounding a lot more the last two games. Like, I don't know what happened, but it feels like he's either healthier or more bouncier, but it's good to see.
yeah. He's looking great.
But what are your thoughts on because your favorite player is Jaden Ivey, then it's Ron Holland.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Ron's game tonight?
I just thought it was all about the effort again. Like Ron is just a real effort man. He's always there. He got the N1 at the end of the game. He missed a free throw, but it just shows he didn't stop hustling even when we were up like 20. He still kept playing hard. I'm just really excited about Ron. I feel like he could be a great player.
Definitely. He's like it wasn't even an amazing game for him tonight, but he's already exceeding the expectations I had for him, just in terms of like what he looks like on the court, like just much more in control, finishing. Like him on the fast break just feels like 2 points automatically.
Yeah, definitely.
And like the way he finishes, yeah. Did you come with any game notes tonight?
Not really.
Yeah.
I noticed that at the end of the game, there were a lot of people wearing headbands on our team. So with just a quick glance, I wasn't sure who was where because we had Dennis with a headband, we had Paul Reed with a headband, and we had Bobby with a headband. So if I wasn't paying attention, I wasn't sure who had the ball.
No, because all those guys normally don't play minutes. So
Yeah.
you saw the headbands on the court.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the game tonight? Or we can move on and look ahead.
Yeah, just like in general, not specifically about the game, but in the Nets broadcast, they were talking about that this is the first time since 2017 that the Pistons were over 500 this late into the season.
Really? That's great. Because I thought that it is 2017. I thought it might
They
have been
said
2019.
I don't know. I thought probably the Blake Griffin team was over 500 to stay into the season.
That was 2019. Hang on,
Yeah,
because I
but
looked it up this morning.
yeah,
Maybe the
but
Nets.
in the Nets broadcast they were talking about 2017, so I wasn't sure.
Maybe I had it. I think I had March 6th was the most recent
Yeah,
time.
I heard something about
2019.
March too, but
Yeah. Either way, it's a long time.
it's been a long
It's a
time.
long time. It's a long time, well before your fandom, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. For
Um,
sure, for sure.
but shout out to our guy Tom. Tom, do you want to come up on the stream? We've got you could come up here in like 20 minutes or 25 minutes if you got time. But W's in the chat for sure.
W's in the chat.
Yeah. And are you still listening to Jello's song?
Man, after every win I have to put on a Jello.
Yeah.
It's a Piston win, then I need to listen to some Jello.
I love it. Talk to me. How far can this team go? Do you think? Because they're half a game out of the 5th seed.
Yeah, they're
Like-
not gonna be after tonight. The Bucks were up like 25 at the half, so they're not gonna be up. They're not gonna be
Well,
half a
one
game
game.
behind the 5 seed. Yeah, but one game behind the 5 seed is great. I don't think we're gonna be. I think if we play really good the rest of the season, maybe we sneak out of the play-in and into the playoffs directly. But I think we're probably just gonna be like in the 7-8 seed play-in.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's great. I don't think you would have been insane to predict that.
Well, and you know what's crazy as well about it? That'll be a home play-in game if they're
Yeah.
7 or 8. I'm pretty sure. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think so. Because like 7 seed has the first home game, and then the loser of the 7-8 game has the second playing game.
That's right. And then but is the first week does 7 play 10 and 8 play 9? Or no, 7 and 8
7
play.
plays 8 and 9 and 10 play. Then the winner of 9-10 plays the loser of 7-8.
Got you. So okay, so if they're 8th, then they're first. Either way, if they finish 7th or 8th, they're getting some form of home game. Because
Yeah.
even if they lose, they'll get one.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Because I feel like, I'm not going to say they're a lock to finish 7th or 8th, but I can't.
Yeah, I can't see
Philadelphia,
them.
like Philly will probably make a push, like a real push at some
Yeah.
point, and jump up from 11th into the play-in. But I feel like we're just better than the Bulls.
Yeah,
And like the
definitely.
Hawks, I don't know, they're probably about even with us. It's just, I feel like I can't see us falling out of the play-in. Like, honestly.
No way. I don't see us falling out of play-in anymore. In no world.
Because
would-
just for those as well, like, so Philly are 11th at 15 and 20, and then the Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, who the
13 and
Pistons
24.
just played, 12th at 13 and 24, and then Charlotte, Toronto, and the Wizards have won 8 games or less. So, the Brooklyn are just trying to get worse. It's really only Philly that can jump up in. Like, there's no way
No,
we could fall out.
There is no way we could fall out of the play-in. If we don't intentionally start tanking really soon, there's no way.
No, there's no way. I think we're getting some form of playing game.
Yeah, definitely.
And like, can I ask you, like, do you have any thoughts on this draft pick that the Pistons owe? I think it goes to Minnesota now. Like, I'm not sure if you look at the NBA draft or anything, but
Yeah,
do you care if they keep the pick or not?
I don't really care. Like, I think it would be better to make a serious play-in push, and then if we lose in the play-in, we keep the pick. So
There's
I think so,
somehow
right?
there is one way they can lose in the play-in and still lose the pick. I think they would have to. I can't remember. I think they'd have to win their first playing game and then maybe lose. There's some weird way they can not make the playoffs and also lose the pick.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
think,
pretty much if they make the playoffs, they lose it. If they miss, they keep it.
yeah. So I think it's really just no real terrible scenario, because either we keep the pick, and I don't think we need to draft another guy. I feel like we already have a lot of guys. I feel like we should just figure out what we have before we just add another lottery pick because
I
we already
agree.
have so many lottery picks.
I think from what we've seen as well, like it would be great to get Cooper Flag, but with where the Pistons sit, like I think in the league standings overall, if I pull it up here, I can't. But the Pistons, like right now, and I'm sure they're going to have a lull here where they lose a few games and maybe they finish below 500. That's still a high chance, but I think for the likelihood of the Pistons even getting Cooper Flag is like they're gonna have like such low odds. Like I just think they have enough
Yeah,
guys like
like
to start. If you keep on this pace, like you have enough guys, I feel like with how much better Cade's looking this season to start making some big moves in the summer.
yeah,
And you will still have guys like they got like 6 first-round picks on the roster.
yeah,
Like Jason
yeah,
says here, we don't need another lottery guy to pay.
yeah. We have enough. We have by far enough.
But any other thoughts, John? Because I know you're joining tomorrow after the Warriors game.
Yeah, definitely.
Is you-
Tomorrow I gotta
and,
join.
and is your friend? No, your friend's not.
No, my friend's not coming, but I'm really invested in the game tomorrow. I put
Yeah.
up money before the season, like $30 against my friend, that the Pistons were gonna be better than the Warriors, which might have been insane, but we're better right now, so who knows?
We are. The record. So Pistons 19-18. You
They're
would have been
18 and
keeping an eye
18.
on it. Yeah. So tomorrow they get a win. They're 2 games ahead of the Warriors in the win
Yeah.
column. I love it. But
Yeah.
any final thoughts, man?
Um,
Any other topics you want to cover?
no, not really. I said a lot. I've been here a lot recently, so I don't really have a lot to say anymore. But
If you fire away.
yeah, I'm just excited for the future. I feel like we've been playing great. So I just want to see where the season goes.
I couldn't agree more, man. I feel like I'm trying to really appreciate all these wins because in a weird way, I'm somehow becoming a little bit used to it, which sounds ridiculous. Sounds absolutely ridiculous coming from a Pistons fan, but yeah, I'm still trying to appreciate every single win, but I'm really excited for tomorrow night's game. Really excited. I hope they get the win for you, but tomorrow night's another game where if Cade has 25, 10 assists or some sort of triple-double, like that all-star conversation just becomes undeniable.
If he has a good game tomorrow, I'm like 100% sure he's going to be an all-star because it's against a really big market team. So a really good game tomorrow, I think he's for sure an all-star.
Has to be. No, YouTube user, I don't need to teach anyone betting lines. I don't know if you're joking, but all right, man. Well, I can't wait to have you on tomorrow night. I think you're gonna be talking about a win, but yeah.
Who knows?
Well, your friend, he chose the Warriors. He's had some fun, but it's the Pistons time now. So we're gonna get that W.
Yeah.
All right, man. But we'll chat later, and I can't wait to have you on tomorrow night.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, bro. Let's go. All right. Shout out to Jean. Like, this man's up at ungodly hours to watch Pistons basketball. I'm very happy they're winning for him, and he's jumping on these streams with us. Do have one more person coming up, and then we'll probably go 15 to 20 minutes, and then we have free space again. So if you want to come up and talk about the game, the Pistons in general, please shoot me a DM in the next 15 to 20 minutes so I don't end the stream without you getting a chance to come up. But I'm going to go through some comments here. Austin, my brother, might have missed this, but Sasa been hooping too. We've touched on Sasa I know this comment was from earlier, but big game for him, like just confidence-wise, because I think he was solid in the Blazers game, but I think he was 0-4 in that game. Made some good defensive plays and finished around the room a couple of times. But good to see him drain some threes tonight, and because they'll need them tomorrow. I just have a feeling this Warriors game's it's going to be a classic close Pistons game, like the ones we've seen 25 times this season. Even if the Warriors are struggling, I just think Steph Curry, Draymond Green, just can't not take that team seriously. So hopefully Sasa can carry over some of this form. Brian says Sasa, in my opinion, is the most underrated player on this roster. That is a very fair call. I'm trying to think who I would say is the most underrated. I would say Stu still is probably the most underrated, just in terms of what he brings defensively. 4 blocks tonight in 20 minutes. But I think Sasa's definitely a good candidate for that. But we got our fourth guest coming on. We got the Pistons hat.
What's
Is this a
going
new
on?
headset as well?
Pistons. Yeah, it is. It is. Does it sound better?
Let's go. It's crisp. I love it.
Nice. Yes. Oh my God, what a great game. I know you probably have went through it 3 times already with 3 very excited Pistons fans, which by the way, the last guy kind of looked like Wimby, which I thought was pretty cool.
I've thought that the whole time. I just haven't said it. He does, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a compliment. It's not a bad thing.
I think it's a compliment as well. I definitely I'll have to ask John when he jumps back on tomorrow.
No, dude. I was standing up the whole time. I almost shed a tear because when I was looking, someone said since 2018 was the last time that we haven't gotten a win. But
So
we were 518, right?
So the stat was I looked it up this morning before the game. So the last time Pistons were above 500 in January or later, I'm pretty sure this includes December too, but definitely January or later was 2019.
Okay.
So, and then this is the first 5-game winning streak they've had since March 10th, 2019 with that Blake Griffin team. So pretty much 5
Through
years.
tough times.
6 years almost, sorry.
Through tough times. You mentioned someone who was, I think, might be underrated, and I think potentially it has got some hidden talent that we saw finally hit the floor today, which was Bobby Clinton. Oh, thank you, man. YouTube user. Appreciate you. Bobby Clinton. I've been wanting to see him ball because during Summer League, he was so fun to watch.
Yeah, it was just so good to see him check in. Because like you said, Summer League, he was the highlight of Summer League. Ron was good too, but Bobby was just no one expected that.
Ron is his energy is amazing. He is so comfortable on the floor, and he believes he can take it in on anyone. That's what I love about Ron Holland. It doesn't matter who it is, and then he gets it in, and you're just like, wow. But man, what a game! That was a easy win for us. I was kind of thinking because I didn't know that the entire Brooklyn Nets, or I think you guys called them the Long Island Nets, were completely decapitated, essentially.
Decapitated. I don't know why I find that so funny.
You know,
they were.
I did, but they were literally handing us the W. But
it was on a silver platter for us. But it's just so good though, just to like, were you pretty relaxed watching that game? Is that Lions or Tigers?
God. So it's actually something my brother-in-law, his buddy made it. It's actually really cool.
Sick.
Yeah.
Where can you get those
show you the. I can maybe drop the link. Let me see. Can you see that?
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah. Kelvin Johnson. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know much about the NFL, but I know who Megatron is from playing Madden when I was younger.
Isn't it beautiful that all of Detroit sports are coming together? The NFL, the NHL. Well, the NHL is the NHL, but it's still we're the baseball. Everyone is. It's an amazing time. Aaron Glenn
really is.
was in the house. Was it 2 games ago?
I think it was last game. Yeah, last home game.
Oh, But on to the next game. Golden State Warriors. I think the way they're headed, uh, I don't see any reason why we can't beat them. I know obviously we're missing Jaden Ivey. Um, hopefully Osar Thompson comes back. What have they said? What kind of illness he's fighting?
No, JB got asked in the pregame press conference, and he just said it's an illness. Didn't say what it is, and hopefully they'll check in with him when they get back home. So, to me,
I know.
that sounds like he
I
might
heard
not
the
be playing against the Warriors.
norovirus has been going around.
Well,
The
that's good.
norovirus. So hopefully he doesn't have that.
Well, I think a lot of fans are panicking that it's once again the blood clots, because when I don't think it is, I hope it's not. I have no idea if it is, but last year when he got ruled out for the first 2 weeks, it was initially just an illness, and then they said blood clots. So I think that's why some fans are freaking out.
Well, didn't he wasn't he marked with illness again sometime earlier in this season?
Oh,
Or am I
potentially,
thinking of another player that may have had illnesses or something?
I think
And I'm
I
putting
can't
air quotes
remember.
because I don't know what kind of illness it was.
Yeah, no, I think there definitely was another player who missed a game with illness.
Okay, that
It
must
might
be
have been a
confusing. Yeah.
star, but hopefully he's back. I hope so. But that's kind of the
He
only update we have.
Yeah, no, he is stellar on defense. We have took a JB said he's feeling okay, that's good. Yeah, that's good. But yeah, we have taken a defensive identity, and I think that's, you know, that is you could see that front page, Isaiah Stewart. And I don't know if you remember the last time you had me on here, I was complaining about Jalen Duren. He
Yeah,
has stepped it up big time.
good shout, definitely.
Yeah.
Like early tonight, when like the game was kind of close, like he was blocking shots, like rebounding. Yeah, he's
And
been
then
much better.
I think also people really take this for granted, but when a team is gelling inside the locker room, that really makes all the difference in the world. Last season, even though we knew, everyone was friends with each other and whatnot, there was just something that you could tell was just almost like a toxic, festering something happening. And I mean, we're all probably thinking it's probably Monty Williams and his terrible coaching that he did for last season. But no, the Pistons are finally making their way through the NBA. I'm loving it, dude. This is amazing.
Dude, it's crazy. I can't remember when we last spoke, but I feel like a lot's changed since we last spoke. Like I feel like we've definitely spoken after some wins and had some positive chats, but I feel like we spoke before that West Coast trip was the last time we might have spoken. Or
Did we
maybe
speak after Jaden Ivey?
his game winner.
Hmm.
Potentially. Either way,
Potentially,
like
maybe not.
it's just like the last 3 weeks though, like whatever positivity we had, say, before Christmas, like it's gone to another level. And I love that you brought up the chemistry, because I think the confidence they're getting, like, yes, they might get down 22 to the Portland Trailblazers, but they come right back. And I just, as a fan, I'm like, kind of expect them to come back and just put up a really good fight and probably win, just the way they've been playing.
So I know Monster Mike, whatever his name was, Motor Mike. I can't remember what is. He mentioned that Cade is kind of going on a cruise or something, like he's just cruising along. But I don't know if you remember this, but when I got on here about 2 weeks ago, I said that he looks a lot smoother, like he looks more comfortable, and I think that's what we're seeing a lot. That he just feels very comfortable in his moves, and he's doing the same in and out moves and dribble moves left to the right, and still getting to the rim. No one is stopping it. So I don't really see it as weakness or him being lazy, but him just knowing, just him being jelly, him getting to the rim, you know?
No, he definitely, he's always been like, in comparison to the rest of the league, like a smooth player because he's skilled. But
Hmm.
I agree with you, like he looks smoother in the sense of like there's a confidence to like finding his spots, using that, like that spin move tonight. He had two awesome spin move finishes. Um he's just got, it feels like he's gone to another level with like the confidence in his handle. and just the way he attacks the rim, because they showed a graphic as well. Like he's down to like 3.5 turnovers a game. It's only in January, but I think it was at like under 4 in December. Like they're constantly decreasing, and I think that goes back to your point about his smoothness and just confidence in figuring out defenses and just
He's like a magnet. His passes are just like so magnetic to his teammates because he knows exactly where Beasley's going to be. He knows exactly where Tim Hardaway is going to be. He knows exactly where to throw the ball for Jalen Duren to, alley oop, dunk it. So yeah, no, I don't see this as weakness at all. I see him just being comfortable with his team, knowing exactly where everyone's going to be, knowing how his defender is going to react to him. And mind you, most of his defenders are a lot smaller than him. So he doesn't have to do anything crazy to get to the rim. He just backs them down.
no,
But
definitely.
tomorrow, yeah, I think we got it. And I don't say that as in, we're just on a roll or something, but I think we are well suited enough to beat the Golden State Warriors. And this whole idea of the West is better than the East, that may have been true maybe slightly last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but that gap is closing. So
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm confident about tomorrow. I'm not like I know they could certainly lose,
let's
but
hear a
like
score.
you want me to give it a final score prediction?
Let's hear it.
All right, Pistons win 104-98.
Okay, so it's going to be a defensive game. Okay, I can see it. So I've noticed a lot of teams that actually do have firepower. They've been close between 120 and below. So I'm going to say 115 Pistons to 110
I like it.
Warriors.
I think I like
That's
yours more than mine, but we're similar margins.
yeah. It's not going to
Like,
be a blowout.
yeah, I think it'll just be one of those classic close Pistons games. Like one team's going to get out to like 10, 15 point lead, but then the other's going to come back and we're just going to be like riding every possession till the end. But I think because it's at home, I got confidence they should win.
Yeah, no, I agree. What's his name? Is who? Cade is him. His handle reaction. Oh yeah, no, it's yeah, absolutely ridiculous. Is Draymond going to be in the game?
I just assumed he was playing. Like, man, this is why like I do not watch any other teams anymore. Like I used to, but this season in particular,
Yeah, he
I
is.
just he's not injured. Cool.
Yeah, no, I love seeing Draymond and Stewart going at it.
Yeah, someone let me find this comment. Someone said YouTube user goes, odds that Stu and Draymond get a double tech at some point. Absolutely.
Oh, dude, when when someone what's his name? Isaiah elbowed someone in the throat. I guess he got a flagrant one. Someone said that dude is taking notes from Draymond or something like that.
There's that. Do you remember a couple of seasons ago where Draymond went to kind of start, like he like kind of shoved Stu? It was in Golden State, and he turned around, and Stu literally grabbed him and like ragdolled him, like pulled him towards him. Don't worry, I'll be putting it on my game day post tomorrow. It'll be
Oh,
in there. So
perfect.
yeah, it's a
Yeah,
funny
Draymond.
moment. I like
It's
Draymond
funny.
though.
Yeah, it's funny. Draymond, they were actually saying at some point a lot of Pistons fans were wanting Draymond to come to our team, because he's from Michigan. Yeah, okay, you were saying it too. Okay, yeah. I wasn't against it at all. I thought he would have been a great locker room presence for us, having hard knock kind of vibe.
I think definitely before this season, I wanted him because just of what the culture was and where they were at. And I don't have any ties to Michigan, but I think it's just cool that he's from that place. He'd have an investment, but I don't think it makes much sense anymore where the Pistons are at. But
Yeah.
I've always like Draymond's a player like you either love or hate. And I feel like the more I've watched NBA basketball in the last like 5 to 8 years, I've just come to appreciate him a lot more. Like, so I know a lot of people don't like him, but prior to this season, I was definitely someone who was like
He makes it
open to him.
interesting. He makes the game interesting.
I just think he's so good defensively, and then on offense, like I think he can't scoring is not his thing, but I think he's like so smart on that end.
That's where I think Isaiah Stewart takes a little bit of you know, aspects of Draymond Green's game. It's not just the things you do that you see on the stat sheet. It's the things that you don't see on the stat sheet. You know that
Yeah.
you're constantly doing. You're festering. You're the guy that's always guarding you. You're sometimes throwing. When I went to the game and I was watching it, dude, Isaiah Stewart is just throwing people. Sometimes he gets the call. Oftentimes he does not get the call actually, but when he does, he gets it. I mean, it is what it is. You got me, this and that. But dude, it's just hilarious because people just get so angry, and I think that's probably why they always get in his face after the fifth, sixth, seventh shove for a rebound.
Did you think so when they were reviewing that play where Stu got kind of elbowed? I can't remember the guy's name. Clowney. He's actually played really well. But did you think he was going to get ejected? I thought he was. I thought they'd
It's
call it
funny.
flagrant too.
I saw the second quarter, like 5, 6 minutes left. But when I went on my Instagram feed, I seen Isaiah Stewart flagrant. I mean, I wasn't surprised, but
Yeah.
when I watched the video, I was actually surprised that they didn't elevate it to a flagrant two, just because of, him being Isaiah Stewart and probably the
Yeah.
rep he carries in the NBA. So I was actually pleasantly surprised that he didn't get a flagrant two. And I think that's because mostly the refs, and that's just some subtle nuances I've noticed. He's a very calm guy when he's calm. He's very calm. He's very reasonable. But there's sometimes when something just goes off in his head, he's Isaiah Stewart. He's beef stew. He turns
Yes.
into beef stew.
Well, I think he's reined it in a fair bit, but there is still that switch where it's like it's always going to be there. So it's
How
just a matter of
necessary?
when. Yeah, you go.
I was just gonna ask because this has been bothering me for a while. How necessary do you think his 3-point game is to the team? How important,
Uh,
actually?
I I think it is important. It's not as crucial as it was when they were trying to start him last season, obviously. And I think with him being a backup big, it's not crucial to him being like contributing to a winning playoff team. But I think if he can unlock it and get it back to where it was last season on like 36% on like 4 attempts or whatever, like that's a huge weapon. And that helps his career and value a heap. And I think that allows you to play him with Ron and Asar a whole lot more. And that's why I think it's crucial. But if it never comes back because it doesn't feel like it's something JB's really leaned into a lot. I don't think it's the end of the world. And I still think he can be a very valuable contributor as a backup big. If you wanted to start him, which I don't think is probably going to happen in Detroit, again, he would have to get that 3-point shot. It'd be crucial.
What's the current lineup exactly? I know
The starters?
JD, Cade, Beasley. So are they playing with the Beasley, Tim Hardaway, or are they
Yeah.
sometimes interchanging him with Asar?
So I think when Asar, before he had this illness, he started. But obviously when he's been out, they put Beasley in, which I
Yeah.
think was the right move.
Yeah, no, I agree. I really do like Beasley coming off the bench, though. Man, is he a spark?
Yeah, no, I don't even think we've spoken about him tonight. He had another 23 points. I don't know how many 20-point games he's had, but he had more than I thought he would have for a whole season.
That's funny. The Pistons really right now, and this goes back to Jaden Ivey when he
Oh, we might have lost you.
went down, and I really hope again.
Right.
Can you hear me? Everything good?
Yeah, I got you. There's just a bit of a lag, but I've got you.
Okay.
It'll fix itself up.
Well, I was just saying, with Jaden Ivey going down, it seems like the team has just came together and are turning the way the game is played, obviously through Cade, but just an all-around team game, because you'll see Beasley drain 1 3 at the end with 30 seconds left, and do his iconic shake. Or, Tim Hardaway Jr. will record 25 points with 0 rebounds, 0 assists, 0
Yeah.
everything. So it's just everyone, they're just feeding off each other now, which I find that really, really, really cool that It's one of the only. I mean, I'm sure there's other teams that are also all around good, but man, we are fun to watch. I literally tried watching other game. I think I tried flipping to the Cavs game. I mean, it was a little interesting, but we are fun to watch compared to
No,
almost any other team.
no, we really are. Like, especially when Asar's out there, but I feel like they're playing at a good pace now. You have Duran like more engaged. Him just being active. He's an exciting player to watch when he's locked in and making plays. Ron Holland, you mentioned him. You have like the Isaiah Stewart element of him potentially getting a tech or he's 4 blocks tonight. Like, how about can I ask you about Fontecchio's dunks? Particularly the first
Dude,
one. Were you like, what? Yeah. How
fantastic.
good?
He has been. It's funny. I actually have been wondering. I'm like, when is he gonna like mesh with the team? I mean, he's obviously in and out sometimes, but like I said, the last 4 games, 3 games since Ivy has gone down, he has meshed with the team. Like he is such a. I think in the first 15 games or so, he was kind of like streaky here and there, and part of it was just because he wasn't getting the minutes. But boy, has he been lighting it up from 3.
Yeah.
But what was your
Oh,
question? I'm sorry.
no, just when he went up for that, like, were you shocked when he had that, like, kind of poster dunk I think it
Yeah,
was in the second quarter, the
let me
one
watch it. I haven't
haven't you seen it? Yeah, because the Pistons
seen it
couldn't
yet,
post
actually.
clips for a little bit. It might be on their Instagram now.
Oh wait, let's see, Detroit.
It was a
I wonder if they're
shock.
gonna upload it yet. No, they haven't uploaded anything yet.
Because I would have posted
But
on my page, but I couldn't
they
get it
have
anywhere.
they have the elbow.
um,
No, I'm gonna look at that later though.
yeah,
No, I haven't seen that yet, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. He surprises I wouldn't be surprised because he surprises me a lot,
yeah.
if that makes sense.
No, it does. Some of the shots he makes, like, get that 4-point play
Oh
the
my
other night,
God.
like fading to the corner.
Is it like I'm pretty sure that's the second 4-point play,
Yeah, I think so.
right?
Or he had
He's
two
had
similar
he's
shots like that. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure because I remember him doing that again. But man, and then also here's one more thing that I just want to mention
Yeah,
because it's I know you're tired, brother. You've been on here for over an hour, but
that's okay.
Tim Hardaway Jr. with okay, so let me backtrack this for a second. Last season, when and even the prior season before that, I've noticed our players every time they tried, getting an offensive foul, like getting the team to commit an offensive foul on them, always unsuccessful. Every time it's a blocking foul. And then the number one charge taker in the league came to our team and has shown our boys how to do it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, every time. And you don't know that changes that, like, that adds a new layer to the game. I mean, obviously, but like it changes so much to the game that it makes one, it's just like like deflates the other team, you know?
It
Man, I love
does.
seeing that.
No, THJ, like, if only they on the box score they had charges taken, because he probably wouldn't have had that 26-0-0-0 the other night. He would have had a one
Dude,
there somewhere. But no, it's good because like it just sets a great tone as well. And it goes back to what you said earlier about the culture and the locker room just vibing. Like THJ probably gives up a little bit defensively at this age. Like, but
yeah.
yeah, when you see him taking charge, it's just like, oh shit, I would like if the old guy's doing that, like I gotta lock in.
Oh, dude,
Um,
I love it. Absolutely. And then I really can't wait to see Ron Holland grow. Hopefully he gets a 3-point game in because he airballed the heck out of that one from the corner. But it'll come. I have confidence that he'll eventually figure it out.
no, for sure. And you kind of touched on Duran, but Mark here asked thoughts about Duran long term. What are your thoughts on Jalen Duran in general and long term?
He is currently blossoming in front of our eyes. I gave him the challenge, and obviously he has no idea I'm giving him a challenge. But in my mind, I'm giving him a
You never
challenge.
know, he might be watching.
That would be crazy.
We had
But
Dwayne Casey in here the other day.
did you really?
Yeah, he left a comment. He
On
he was on. He left the same. Yeah, I'm pretty certain it was him though. I did some digging. It was after the Kings
okay.
game.
Oh,
So
that's dope.
yeah,
That's really cool. Did you screenshot it?
yeah, because I screenshotted it and sent it to some people because I was like, because he said the same comment on Pistons talks post game because we go at the same time, and I was like, maybe it's a. The way it was written, I was like, this seems like someone Dwayne
I think
Cage's age.
you're cutting out here and there.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Can you hear me now?
I mean, yeah, yeah. It caught up, but that is I'm sure
Yeah.
probably it was if it was the same, you know, gist and everything. But no, Jalen Duren, dude, he has stepped it up. His and I think I wasn't sure what maybe your first guy or second guy if he was talking about JD when he said something about maybe they had some personal problems going on. But whatever JD had going on, he has conquered it because he leaves nothing on the floor. He dominates whoever, and then, dude, how pumped are you every time when Cade gives him the ball, pumps fakes it, and he just goes up and just brings down the rim,
Yeah. No,
dude.
he dunks it different. Like he nearly
Long
rips the
term,
rim off.
he's getting better. His free throw shooting is actually he has a really nice form. So I have no fear in his free throw. That's currently the only thing that he needs to work on, but I have no fear in him being able to overcome it long term. We know he can shoot. I don't know if you remember his second year, he was in summer league for a little bit, and he was like just handling the ball because it's summer league. Who cares? And he was just shooting mid rangers. You know, obviously he
Yeah.
was breaking here and there, but dude's got a jumper. So I wouldn't be surprised if they add another layer to his game, where he's almost like a Kevin Garnett kind of. Well, it's not Kevin Garnett. It's more so like what's the center's name from the Celtics?
Uh, Al Horford?
Yeah,
No.
kind of like where
Oh,
he's just shooting from the corner somewhere,
yeah.
not the 3-point line, but the mid range.
Yeah.
So adding new layers to the game, I could definitely see that happening to JD, especially with
Yeah.
that kind of shot form he has. So
Yeah.
definitely going to be top 5 center in the league, I think, within probably 2-3 years. I wouldn't be
Love it.
surprised.
I think like for me, like long term, I actually think I wasn't sure about him and Asar working on offense, but if you have Jaden Ivey shooting the way he was, and you can find a 4-man to play alongside Asar that can really stretch the floor, then I think you might have something that works there. And if Duran can if it's all about energy and effort for him, and that's what's been so good in the past 5 games, or even maybe the last 2 weeks with him, like this feels so much more engaged the entire game.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because they're winning and like the chemistry is just continuing to build, but it's hard not to enjoy his game when he's bringing the effort. Like, yeah,
You see how vocal he gets too. I'm sure you've noticed. You
yeah,
know, when Jaden Ivey and I've been trying to figure out who he was pointing at, hit that and 1-3,
yeah,
and he was pointing at someone either at Stu or behind Stu. And I think
yeah,
he said
yeah.
like, "I
I
told
think
you,
it's
didn't I?" or something like that.
yeah, yeah. I think it was Paul Reed. It was Paul Reed or Stu. They were like next to each other. Yeah, that was in Sacramento. I remember seeing that clip. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
I'm loving it, and it's our vets are leading the way, probably creating that amazing culture that we have now. I think they can finally maybe use the word grit now. I think they can. You know, they've been gritty the last, 10 plus games. I think
Yeah,
someone in the comments, it was like a popular comment mentioned. I can't remember who it was. Someone said something about grit from the Pistons, and they said they're not allowed to
yeah.
use that word yet until they prove themselves. And I think they've proven themselves in the last 15 games.
I think so. What they must be now 11-14 in the 11-3 in their last 14. I know that I think I'm going to try to bring this up because I want to get this right just because remind me what was your kind of prediction for the season?
I think I said 33. I should write it down. But I'm probably gonna cheat right now and update it, but I
That's
think I
okay.
said
No, because sorry, you go.
no.
My
I
bad.
was just gonna say no. You're good. You're good. I think there's a delay, but I think I have them at or had them at 33 and whatever the difference was for how many ever games left there is, but 33 wins for this season. But the way we're steamrolling, and I really want to see us play some actual good teams. Let me see, what are some coming up games that we have? Let's see, we have okay, well, the Warriors, but they're we got the Knicks and the Pacers after the Warriors in Toronto. So depending on how we do against the Knicks and the Pacers, but if we're steamrolling the way we're steamrolling, I can see us maybe climb to 36, 37.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. Yeah, 100%. I I just checked. They're nine. They've won 9 of their last 11. 10 of their last 13. So they are like they can use the word grit. I feel like even if they
Oh,
do
yeah,
have a
for
little
sure.
slump here when they play some good teams, like there it's just going to come inevitably where they lose 2, maybe 3 in a row. I still think though you can look back at this portion of the season and be like they figured something out here, and they're definitely a play-in team that maybe can sneak into a playoff series.
Yeah, and it's and we're gonna get play games where we're just not hitting threes, and that happens. You know what I mean? I mean, someone's gonna gotta hit, but that's just part of the game. So, I'm sure that's gonna happen, whether that's a good team that we're playing against or a bad team. So I'm not where currently, if I miss a game, I'm not worried about it because, I'm gonna look at the score later and not, get my hopes up, get my hopes up. I've currently
No, for
watched
sure.
almost every single game for the season, so
Wow. I've, I'm right there with you. I've watched every single quarter. But I don't have an excuse not to watch. So
I
uh,
mean,
I'm glad I
but
chose this season to do this.
oh my God, yeah,
Last
dude.
season
Oh
would have
my
been,
God. When I first saw your video
yeah.
of you saying you're doing this full time, I'm like, does he know something that none of us don't? Like, you know what I
It's just-
mean? Like,
oh
is he
man,
just
I don't blame anyone for thinking I'm insane. Like I remember a lot of the comments were like, just like, I'm sorry. A lot of them are like, bro, you better get your job back. But
and you know what's funny? I don't even care that the media isn't paying attention to us because
yeah,
it's always Detroit versus everybody, no matter what it is. Detroit versus everybody. Forget Stephen A and First Take and us taking down all these other teams, these big name teams. We're not going to be talked about. If we beat a team and we are being talked about, it's because what happened to X team. It has nothing to do
yeah,
with how good Detroit
yeah.
plays.
Yeah, it's like you already know maybe Friday morning, if the Pistons beat the Warriors, what's going on with Steph Curry and the Warriors? That's the headline. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
So been there, done that. I'm not, you know, it's Detroit versus everybody till the day, you know,
it will.
till it's all over. But all right, my friend, I know it's probably, getting 1 hour and 33 minutes. Wow. You are
That's
putting
okay.
work in tonight or
Hey, well,
or
that's the thing,
this
man. We got
evening?
to get. No, it's only so for me right now. It's 3:41 p.m.
Nice.
So East Coast games start at like 7 p.m. is 11 a.m.
Right,
for me. But I'm a day ahead of
right.
you, so it's Thursday now.
Oof. Nice.
So that
Okay.
actually works out really well. But that's why I had to do this
Yeah,
full
no, I
time
remember
to
you
watch
saying
all the
that.
games. So yeah, no, I'm
That is
good.
that's
I'm glad, man. I'm happy for this to go as long as people want it to get their thoughts off. Because
well,
now that they're winning games, this is the good times.
well, I hope when you do get to Detroit, it's not the middle of the Arctic snow and and whatnot. I'm in Kentucky, so I can sympathize with my West Virginia. Is it West Virginia or Virginia that the other guy where his
I think
power
you
and
said
his toilets
Richmond.
weren't
Is that in
working?
Virginia?
Yes, that's
Yeah.
Virginia. Yeah, so I can definitely sympathize with him because we got hit just as bad. Thankfully, toilets still work. But But no, yeah, roads are terrible. No one knows how to drive. It's absolutely just yeah, it's been bad. But
Well, I hope that improves.
yeah, no, you'll definitely get a taste when you're in Detroit. It's my
It's
buddies from Michigan are telling me, wow, that's like level 2 weather for Detroit. So when you get there, you'll definitely
oh
because
man, I
you're coming in
gotta
February, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Date's still
yeah.
to be confirmed, but it'll
Do
be
you
in
own a coat?
February. Yeah. So I've been
Okay,
to
okay.
New York. I've been to New York a couple of times in the winter. So like I'm
Okay,
prepared.
okay.
It's just where I am in Australia right now. It's summer, so like I'm just wearing shorts and a t-shirt everywhere right now.
I'm
So
not gonna lie, New York. Okay, so yeah, New York gets cold, but Detroit gets the I think it's the Arctic breeze or so. I forget what it was called. It's actually insane because sometimes it makes it down to Kentucky, and you're just in the negatives.
that's insane.
So
No, I've got some. I got to buy some new clothes. I got to get some more winter clothes because I've only got like the one jacket, like snow
yeah,
kind of jacket, like puffer. So I might
see
have
if
to
you
get
can get
another one.
I think it's called Canadian Goose.
Canadian
That's
Goose.
yeah, Canadian Goose. Yep, Canadian Goose jacket. That's what the that's what we wear up there.
All right, I'm gonna look that up. Suss
Yeah,
that out.
it's
But
good.
yeah, I'll let everyone know the dates I'm there because love to cross paths with everyone. So
Oh
it's gonna
yeah.
be hectic, man. It's gonna be hectic. Now that the team's actually winning as well, like just makes it that much better.
You know you gotta leave when you leave. You gotta at least buy a pair of buffs. They don't have to be the real thing.
Hundred
It's just gotta
percent.
be. Yeah. Okay. Good. Okay. Good.
100%.
Some
Hundred
buffs, some
percent.
conies, all that. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
be
doing
holding
the
your
conies as
conies in the
well.
airport going home.
Pizza, Detroit style pizza. I've heard about
Ooh.
that. So no,
Oh
I'm
man,
I'm
you're in
trying.
for a treat.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's gonna be
But
unreal.
all right, my friend, I'm gonna let you get out of here.
All right, man. Thank you so much for joining. Always a pleasure. People in the comments love you as well. So please come back
Oh, I
whenever you
love
got the
them.
time.
Of course. All right, guys. Peace.
All right, man. Catch you. Bye. All right, guys. Hour and 36 minutes. Thank you to everyone that's tuned in, stuck around. We've got some comments in here from Arthur, YouTube user, talking about Bill Lambier, Isaiah. Someone punching. Did Bill Lambier punch Isaiah Thomas? Let me bring this comment up. Okay, I can't find it. Oh yeah, Arthur. Can someone say Bill Lambier knocked out Isaiah Thomas during practice? Did not know that. There we go. We're learning right now. Um, yeah, so this was off the back of the Draymond conversation. I get why people don't like Draymond. I fully get it. I just think he's a really good player, and I think if prior to this season he probably would have helped this team. But they've got good vets now that are bought in, so they don't need him anymore. But yeah, been a great stream, guys. I think we've gone through a lot of the comments here. I think we'll get Tom. I'm going to hold you to this weekend game for sure. So that Raptors game, I'm going to DM you and we'll get you back up here because that'll be on Sunday for us. So hopefully we can get you up. But to anyone else, please send me a DM and prior to the game and let's get up as many people as we can. It's been good to get some new faces in the past couple of weeks. Always good to have Cody and Kyle and all the regulars and Austin, but I always want to get some new faces up here and more Pistons fans. So thank you so much for tuning in. Your Pistons are 19 and 18. They're sitting at 8th in the Eastern Conference, tied with the Heat at 7. This is just fun. But until tomorrow after the Warriors game, as always, go Pistons.